bold or crazy. And obviously, everyone's been speaking about this, about Ange and the tactics for Chelsea, especially down to 9 men. Now, before I throw it over to everyone to say, first of all, I want to say big up to my protest partner in
Hey,
crime.
Graham.
Big up, Graham. Good
Great
morning
pop.
to you. And obviously, Hypnotized
Hey,
is
Hypnotized.
all away with us as well. So, when we say bold or crazy, obviously 9 men, the formation we played, still playing attacking football, high line and everything. I just want to say before I throw over to you two, what I don't get with this fan base is we start off. I'm going back to Poch times. People, the major negative about Poch before he went was his choice of substitutes and time of substitutes. That was a big thing that people spoke about with Poch. Didn't work. Okay, we had that. Then we had Jose, Nuno, Conte. It was, oh God, this football's boring. It's too defensive. It's slow. It's rigid. It's counter-attacking. It's boring. I can't stand this. I want attacking football. We get Ange Postecoglue. We do attacking football. We are in a London derby, one of the biggest, and to some fans, the biggest. And Ange continues to play attacking football. And then we have our fan base say,
Meltdown.
what's going on? Why is he playing attacking football with a high line? What's he doing with Dyer and Royale? And I will add to this, with Dyer and Royale playing a low block, they couldn't keep a clean sheet. So what was the difference with going for it? Ireland, I haven't spoken to you since the game. What was your thoughts with this? Bold or
Yeah,
crazy?
I think the response I would have is bold and crazy, but also like I loved it. I loved it. I think you can see below my name. It's the quote from Ange is whether it's remove the thing. What did I put at the bottom of my name, Bri?
Oh, sorry. Sorry,
Remove
one
the
second.
whether it's right or wrong. So the idea is whether it's right or wrong, and that's what it comes down to, is that we're buying into what he's talking about, what the type of football he wants to play, and no matter what's happening, he's always going to play that way. And we nearly won the game, and arguably the Dyer's goal should have stood. There's a bunch of moments where Sonny probably should have scored. We were, with 9 men, still better than them, despite obviously scoring the 4 goals. They scored the 4 goals because we had 9 men and we didn't have end to end to run back, and all the little details come into play. But we still pushed them and made them uncomfortable. Nearly got a goal. Probably should have been given one at least. It was epic, and for me, it's bold and crazy, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Play this football forever, and I will be a happy Spurs fan forever, because it is what is enjoyable about football, enjoyable about attacking football. It is to dare is to do. It's literally that. If you're a Spurs fan, then you should know that quote, and you should know that this is the style.
Okay, so before we come to you, Bobby, I just want to say, first of all, big
What's
up
up?
to Ren.
Hey,
And
Ren.
How you doing?
the Spurs lads couldn't give you the birthday present we all hoped for, but I hope you had a great birthday.
Happy
And
birthday, Ren.
I've just
Happy birthday.
realised, because of this, I've actually added, Brian, you're going to have to make another thumbnail for Bite Size, because I've picked another subject after this one.
Oh, have you?
And
Okay.
it's certainly going to, because someone needs a very, very big mention in a section. And believe me, I think you know what that section is going to be about. So, as we were saying, Bobby, what was your thoughts on it?
At the end of the day, Brian, how can we sit back and defend when we've lost arguably 3 of our 4 best defenders?
Yep.
We lost Van de Ven to injury. We lost Udogie. We lost Romero to red cards. How do you sit back and defend when your defenders are gone? We've got Højbjerg playing in makeshift defense. We've got Dyer, who hasn't touched the field all season, coming in and having to play in a high press system, a high line system that requires running like crazy, which we know that he does have pace. So what was the option? What did you want this man to do? If we sat back, I fear if we just sat back and took them on and let them just keep coming at us, I think the scoreline would have been worse. The fact that 33rd minute Romero went out, it was 55th, 58th minute for Udogie, right?
Yep.
So 55th minute. It was 55th because I remember they scored in the 75th. And I kept thinking for 20 minutes, we gave these guys a game. It was 20 minutes, 2 men up. It took them finally, hey, DT, they finally scored after 20 minutes. Then The ensuing 18 minutes, we almost got the equalizer a few times.
That Dyer
kept
goal,
pushing back on
should
him.
have stood. By the way, did you see?
Dude, dire goal in this household. You know what happened?
Should have stood though. It went off the defender's head.
Big fella.
Went off the defender's head.
That's what they looked at.
You know,
they said
miss,
no right away.
Yeah, we're not going to whinge like the Arsenal fans or Liverpool fans do.
What is the replay, by the way?
When do we go to Stamford Bridge? Oh, okay. I've just got what you meant there.
I think it's January. Yeah, but like good joke.
You missed my smart assness there. Come on, Diego. You know me better than that, buddy.
But this is the thing. You look at it, and everyone was saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have played a high line. We shouldn't have done this. We got battered 4-1." Well, first of all, it was 2-1 until like injury time.
93rd minute and 97th, Brian.
And literally, if Dyer's goal had stood or Son had put the goal away, we're talking 2-2, maybe 3-2. Even
and then Andrew's a genius again.
Even Benton Cause
there you go, Ireland.
Benton's minor header there. Yeah,
minor header, boots, whatever you want to call it. If any of those had gone in, everyone's talking. Oh my God, how amazing
what a genius!
9 men. I think, do you know what? The main thing I take out of it as well, guys, and I'll go to you first, this one, Bobby, is this team didn't drop their head. Last season under Conte, mate, look at what we did at Newcastle. At Newcastle, against Liverpool, against other teams, we just drop our heads. That's it. Forget it. Let's just
game over.
They stuck to the plan. They did everything that was required. They ran their bollocks off, and they literally played as a team, which we haven't seen for a long, long time, Bobby.
Brian, we haven't seen that from 11 men for 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
So, for any person that's sitting here and saying that Ange is in the wrong regarding this one, for lack of better words, give your head a shake. Really give your head a shake. Again, just you don't have the tools to play defensively. I know the comparisons were being made with what the exact same thing happened with Liverpool, basically, where they went down and they set up shop, and they had Matip and Van Dijk back there still. Maybe if Romero and Van de Ven were still on the pitch, that would have been an option. We just hold on for that draw kind of thing. Okay, but when you're looking at what we had, Brian, I don't think it was even an option. I honestly believe partially his hand was forced in terms of having to do whatever he could to salvage this game. And if it meant, screw it, either lose big or get the 3 points, I'm glad he made that decision. I certainly am, because there's a reason 60,000 people stuck around after that game and stood and applauded a team that just lost 4-1. There's a reason our rival fans are wondering why these guys got applauded after losing a game brutally. At the end of the day, like Ireland already said, 2-1 until the 93rd minute where we were just done. These guys, I remember there was one stat that I remember reading that only 4 of the players that started that game finished the game.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
There's your 5 subs and your 2 reds, right?
Yep.
So there's 7 players gone or changed around. That's a lot. And for us to still be able to hit that level of performance, that's why even though I'm upset about losing Udogie and Van de Ven and Romero now, and that's a heavy hit all at once.
We'll get into that. That's one of the next subjects.
Okay, so I won't get into that too far then.
Yeah.
I'm proud of what they did. I think that Ange got it spot on. I think he was 100% right. I think he was very, very bold of him to do what he could with what he had. This was a man, instead of bitching like our previous managers have about the lack of tools in the shed, he said, this is what I got to work with. Let's get to work.
Yeah. I mean, Alan, what have you got to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I would disagree with what Bobby said on is that I don't think it mattered whether he thought he had the right players or not. He was going to do it no matter who was on the bench, no matter how, whatever situation we're ever in, he's always going to play that way. He said at the end of it in an interview, down to 5 men, we're going to give it a go. And I just love that. I absolutely love it because he's just like, he recognizes the situation. The reality of the situation is that you're rarely ever going to get a result in that scenario, especially going down to 9, 10, maybe you're 1-1 and you can sort of hold on to it, but you go down to 9, it's like, they're going to score. We have to also try to score. And that's what we did. The Dyer goal we spoke about, the Sonny miss we spoke about, the Benton Bentancur header that could have, he got it in the right. We had 3 really freaking good chances, as good as the amount of that they scored, other than maybe the Vicario obviously standing on his head to doing what he did. I just think us fans have to get on board with it, because it's just so much fun, and it is exactly what I want from my football club. I want to be entertained, and I want my manager to understand, like, give it the go from the beginning to the end of the game, no matter what happens, and that's what he is. That's who he is, and that's what Tottenham are. That's Tadera's to do. I said it earlier, that is the point of that phrase, and that's exactly what he's doing, and it makes me proud and just giddy a little bit.
Well, I'll go back to it as well. I can't remember a game, and then I come to you, obviously, Bobby. I'll go to Ireland first. I can't remember a game, not just for Tottenham, I mean in the Premier League, where a game has started and a team has lost 3 of their 4 defenders.
It was crazy.
Whether it be by red cards, injuries, I haven't seen. I can't remember. And then you've got people coming on. Eric Dyer comes on without playing a single minute of a single game.
Yeah.
And for me, and I said credit where it's due, I think, all right, he was a fault for a couple. We know what his faults are, but he did, from the pressure he would have been on with knowing his reaction for him coming on. I think he did okay.
I agree.
Emerson Royale did what he can, but once again,
Højbjerg
Højbjerg
was amazing.
Mate, this guy, how anyone gives him any kind of disservice. I mean,
it's
that's
strange.
a brand new. Porro was the only one, and obviously a certain person that I'm going to wait till the next section. Ren, if you're still here, you're going to love the next section.
Before we get to that, I do have to do something for Big K, because I promised I would.
Oh, go on, you're going to do an Eric Dyer thing. Yeah, do you know what?
Right.
I completely forgot that. I forgot at the time. I forgot at the time about. But listen, the defense, it weren't the best, but at least they stuck Ireland to what Andrew asked them.
Yeah, I think that was the thing I was impressed about the most. And of course, you get players who have been on the sort of fringes of this new Tottenham Hotspur squad with a new coach, and they're pretty much surprised that they're no longer involved in the the leadership group and all the things that came with that, which is Eric Dyer and Højbjerg. But they both came in and energized the players that were on the pitch and put us in a scenario where we could go and get those chances. Yeah, you play that high line against a team like Chelsea with Raheem Sterling and other players in that team who've got pace and who can get in behind. They're going to get in behind. They're going to get their chances. Vicario doing what he did was incredible. I just think that doing what he did is one of the best coaching things you can do, despite the scoreline. And I would argue that the team, the players, and the coach all know it. They all went back afterwards and were like, that was the best thing we could have done, because we now understand what is Ange ball, how we're always going to be, how we're always going to play. And the players who've been benched and who've been not involved in the first team, on the first team sheet week in, week out, have bought in as well. They bought in even though they're not playing. And that's what we saw when they came on. It was epic. Again, the scoreline doesn't tell you the story of the result and what happened. It was incredible.
Yep. Bobby, anything else to say on that?
You know what? Like Brian said, at the end of the day, what's being instilled into the team is that we don't give up. Something that we hated seeing in our team. Forget seeing our team give up. We saw our team not even try from the first minute. Forget getting to the 90th minute. So it's so refreshing to be on the other opposite end of the spectrum now.
Yeah. So we got the question: will Højbjerg be right?